Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of CarX Drift Racing 2 with BrogAutohaus. Today's episode is all about the FD RX-7. This is a very fun car to drive in the game. Beautiful car in real life, obviously a very desirable one. And I have now upgraded this to a Pro Drift 3 and engine swapped in the 2-liter i4, which is basically like an SR20. I know that might upset some of the rotary guys, but to be honest, the rotary engine that technically should come in this vehicle from the factory doesn't really sound like that much of a rotary to me in the game. So if it had that, deep rumble and the nice idle, maybe I would have stuck with the factory motor, but I really like the peppiness of this 2-liter i4. And we're going to jump in, show you guys all the tuning, the tune details, where I've got everything set and why, and we'll see what you guys think. As always, don't forget to hit the like button if you like the video and subscribe to the channel for future content. It really does help me. I hate being the guy to ask for that and put it in the video, but it's the little things that you guys can do to help, and it helps us all grow together. So I appreciate all those people that do that for me. If you guys have questions or suggestions for future content, leave a comment below, and I'm happy to answer those. I answer all the comments that I see on there, and I'm always pretty responsive in a timely fashion on those. So again, leave a comment below if you have any questions. All right, let's jump into it and show you guys what this thing's all about. So it's called the Falcon RZ in the game. Obviously it is an RX-7, there's no doubt about that. And they do have some different body kits. I have the stock body kit on mine, and I just replaced some bumpers and side skirts and hood and stuff to make it look how I wanted. They have the missile kit, the CBW, which I'm not a big fan of. They have the R&T, which is the Rocket Bunny kit in real life. Looks pretty good, but it's just not my style. And then they have the Veilside RX-7, which is the D-Master. Now that one was in the Fast and Furious movies and all that. It was the orange one that Hans drove. So that's kind of a cool body kit to have, but it just doesn't look like an RX-7 to me. Then they have the Shark Nose, which is the Boss body kit in real life, and the Pro Flow, which I'm not sure if that's a real kit or not. If you guys do know what it is, leave a comment below because I couldn't figure it out. Tons of venting and fins and all kinds of stuff going on with that thing, but I went with the stock body. I like the look of it. I didn't want to change it too much and put massive over fenders. Like I said, I upgraded to Pro Drift 3, and then I did unlock the 2-liter i4 turbo engine swap. People have asked me how to get the engine swaps. You pretty much just have to wait until you get the blueprints for, a particular engine. So you only need 2 blueprints, or I think maybe 3 for the straight i4. So you have to get those and upgrade the car to Pro Drift 3 before you can do it. So my spring size, I have it 11 centimeters. You can see the stiffness there. Almost no sway bar in the front, which is abnormal for me. Normally I do run a pretty stiff front end. Positive 10 degrees of outer toe, negative 6 camber, all the way locked out caster at 10 degrees with 70% Ackerman angle. If your front is washing out too much, lower that Ackerman angle, you'll get more grip. The rebounds and bumps are actually really high on the front end of this car. That added the stiffness and probably the reason I don't need the sway bar as much. The rear end is much looser, so we're at negative 3 degrees of camber, 10 degrees of toe, no sway bar in the rear at all, and very weak spring stiffness. Now this allows the car to squat and really dig in and pull out of the corners rather than sliding deeper and deeper into the corner when you're on throttle. I run a square setup on the wheels. We are running 18 285s, front and rear, both with a 30% profile and 200 pounds of pressure in them, and it seems to be a good way to do it. The 2-liter i4 I have maxed all the way out for close to 800 horsepower, but it's plenty for this car. It's a really light car, so it doesn't need a whole lot. The differential is at 0.33, which is, I would say, significantly lower than I typically run my cars. I typically run them around 0.5 to 0.7. Then you can see my 5th gear there. I have it a 1-to-1 ratio, so that's a 1.00, and that gives me kind of the optimal speed and wheel speed for 5th gear for the higher speed, longer tracks with the differential and everything else that I have. So if you guys have questions about tuning and all that stuff, leave a comment below as well. Happy to answer any of them that you have. Nothing done here, no axis widths or anything like that, and that's really about it. So we're just going to jump out and mess around. Wasn't doing any didn't have a goal for this driving session, more so just kind of letting you guys hear how the engine works and how it sounds. and then what gears you can expect to be able to use at certain points on the track. The gearing is probably one of the biggest things for drifting that makes a big difference on how the car performs. You know, obviously wheel speed and keeping your car in drift is a big deal. And if your gearing is too long, you'll switch to another gear like this 5th gear, which is, in my opinion, it is a little too long right now. And the car will start to bog out, you lose your wheel speed, or you get pushed too far to the outside. And so you do need to be, you know, cautious with how big of a jump you have between each gear when you start tuning the entire transmission, because if you keep them all consistent so that each shift point, for example, if you started with a 3.0 gear ratio and then your next gear is a 2.5, then your next gear should be a 2, your next gear should be a 1.5, and then you can kind of level things out there as far as the transmission goes. I know that might sound confusing without showing you guys everything and how to do it, but again, if you guys have questions, let me know. As always, appreciate you guys watching. This is just going to be it for today's video, but I will be posting some more this week, so stay tuned. If you have any questions, leave them below. Thanks for watching. We'll see ya next time.